Welcome to the Casual Cry Club, your cozy corner on the internet. We are your background besties. I'm Sunny.
And I'm Sherry, and we yap about unimportant things and we give you unserious advice. Hello, we're back with another episode of Casual Cry Club. Hi, Sunny.
Hi.
So, as everyone knows, I'm in my fun employment period. So, this means that I have actually like no objective in my day to day. My objective is really to just chill. Okay, so let's go into really talking about the useless things that we have done to
Mm.
try to boost our productivity.
Yeah, I call it performative productivity.
That's a very good term.
Yes, I came up with this myself, okay? The AI didn't do it.
Okay, why don't you go first?
Okay, so for me, right, I keep telling myself that I want to be productive. So there was a period of my life where I kept trying to buy yearly planners because I imagined that I was going to plan out my everyday life and be super productive every day. But then I end up having like so many yearly planners that are empty. I've come to realize that I hate planning and writing so much. I'm still using the same Moleskine notebook that I've been using 10 years ago.
Wow. That's girl math. You take the amount of money you spend on that notebook, then you divide by 10. That's that's pretty low cost.
Actually, I didn't even pay for that notebook. It was like a company notebook.
Oh, okay. Even better, it's free.
One of the reasons why I bought so many notebooks is also because I followed the trend of bullet journaling, bujo. One of my ex-colleagues started this whole bujo thing. Back then, I felt like she was a very successful woman, so this must be working. So I tried.
You were so inspired, right? You wanted to be the journal girly.
Yes, yes. And then like I spent so much time trying to organize a bullet journal. I just spent more time writing down my to-do list than actually working.
Yeah. Speaking of to-do list, that's also one of the useless productivity things that I've done. Okay, I love to-do lists because it gets, my head organized. It gives me like a visual representation of the things I need to do. But when I was at my job, I just feel like I ended up having like the same to-do list for like a couple of days because useless work just keeps coming in and then not actually working on my to-do list at all.
Don't worry, I have the same to-do list for like months. And then by the time I got to it again, right, I have to delete the whole thing
Yeah.
because nothing is relevant anymore. Like the job has moved on from the list, man. You just keep doing and doing for me lah, okay? I don't even bother going back to the to-do list.
Performative. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this has been going on for years, okay? I have this limit for screen time for social media. So for Instagram and TikTok, I set like a limit of 3 hours a day. And then when I hit the 3 hours, I get a notification and it tells me to like, put my phone away and things like that. And I like 99% of the time I click ignore on the notification and I continue I continue scrolling on my apps. Yeah, that's a pretty useless productivity hack that I have. What about you?
I actually have a very bad problem with procrastination as well. But then I don't want to feel guilty for not working. So,
Mm.
ever since I can remember, okay, this started when I was a teenager. Instead of doing work or studying or whatever, I will go and clean my
Mm.
room because
That's a very good habit actually.
I mean, yes, but not to the actual task that I'm trying to complete.
Yeah.
So instead of studying for O levels, I clean my room. Then I tell myself the excuse that I will give myself is that, oh, I need a clean environment before I can feel that
Yeah.
I am in the right mind space to start my work. But by the time I
Yeah.
finish cleaning, the day is already over, and
Yeah.
once again I didn't accomplish anything.
For me, another thing that I do to be productive is listening to playlists.
Mm,
So there's always this playlist genre in my top like section in Spotify that just says deep focus. Apart from that, I also listen to, I scroll on like TikTok, right? Then
mm,
I always get served like productivity hacks for
mm,
the corporate girly. They recommended listening to music at very specific frequencies
mm,
or like listen to pink noise, brown noise, white noise to
mm.
like, I don't know, like neurologically wire your brain into being productive. into like doing work. Yeah, and in the office, I always have my earpiece in listening to all these kind of music, and then people always think that I'm in a meeting.
Jumping back to my list, one of the thing that I really performative is that I always tell myself that I need to exercise, but then I'm
Mm.
always very lazy. So what I will do is that I will put on workout clothes at
Mm.
home, yeah, and that's it.
Put on workout clothes and then sit at your desktop, sit at your computer, and then still be procrastinating.
Yes.
So, do you
I
actually exercise after wearing your workout clothes?
not always.
Okay.
I'm just trying to like force myself into a sunk cost fallacy. So once I put on the
Mm.
workout clothes, then I will feel like, oh, I very waste. I wear it, then I never work out.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to trick myself to falling into this fallacy, but it doesn't always work.
And then just chilling on the sofa and doom scrolling on TikTok.
Mm.
Okay, my last productivity hack is, and this is actually useful. So I had this app and it's a tree planting app. So essentially it locks your phone. And then if you don't use your phone for like 30 minutes, then it will plant a tree in your garden. And then at the end of the day, you can look at your whole garden to see like the number of trees that you have planted. And the trees are so cute. It has like different types, different species. Yeah. And I used that to study for my exams and it was pretty useful.
Okay, then I contribute something that's really useful also. So for
Mm.
me, right, the most useful thing is just to drag everything until the last minute. And then you got no choice. So, like, this is really my ultimate life hack. I did this for every single major exams in my life, and I still do it for my work now.
Well done. Very good. Can you imagine like you spend like months worrying about doing that thing and then you finish it within 2 days? Why don't you do it within the first 2 days and then you can chill for the next like 1 month? It just doesn't work like that, right?
I
Yeah.
think it works for some people. You know, there are like the good kids who go home every
Yes.
holiday within the first week, they finish all their holiday homework.
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Nah, that
Yeah.
cannot be me. That's
Yeah.
not me.
That's also not me. I really have severe procrastination issue. I always finish my whole in the last 2 days. So, since we were like such lazy procrastinator as kids, how did we become the girl who feels guilty when I'm sick during work days?
I don't feel guilty at all. Like when I have to take a sick leave or when I go on holiday and I don't work.
This is very interesting. I think when I was younger, right, everything that I did was for myself. I
Mhm.
didn't feel like I was dragging people down. If I fail, then fail, lor.
Mm.
It's my problem. I just own up to the consequences of my own actions. But ever since I started work, right, I would feel that
Mm.
everything that I'm not doing is causing harm to someone else or like dragging down something that's beyond myself. And I will have this compulsion to read and reply no matter how late it
Mm.
is.
That's unhealthy. So for me, it's a bit different. I feel the need to be productive because I feel like it impacts how other people see me. If I'm not finishing this project, then I feel that people will think that I'm not working or I'm incompetent. And that's why I feel like I have to, constantly have to keep up with what I think people expect of me.
Which is writing to-do list.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So how that looks like in a corporate job for me is that for a typical work day, I feel guilty even if I like take a short break to have afternoon tea, even if it's like 20 minutes. Like I feel the need to be always on when people text me and then I can reply immediately. I feel like I don't know if you have encountered this, but I feel slightly anxious when my team status turns yellow.
When I was young, yes, then I will keep pushing the mouse. I'm not working, then I'll push the mouse.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah. I think that's a universal experience, like to be honest. But yeah.
But I no longer care anymore at this point of my life.
At my last job, I think maybe like 1 or 2 months before I left, and that was after I've tendered my resignation, right? I just decided to switch my team status to offline, like permanently offline. And it was such a liberating feeling. Like I don't have to worry about whether this stupid round thing on my laptop is yellow or green or red or whatever.
Yeah, this does not contribute to your level of productivity. You can be not working for 10 days as long as you finish one PowerPoint that you need to do within one day, right? This is true productivity. So I feel like all the experiences that I've shared just now with you were
Mm.
feelings that I felt maybe a few years back, more so when I was younger in my career. As I grew older and older, then I feel like this whole fairy tale of productivity has sort of broken. I guess when we were young, there was this whole notion of you need to study hard so that you can go into a good university, and then from there you're going to get a good job. I felt like in university, I really wanted to ensure that I get a top-notch job in a top-notch company. I mean, not the whole,
Mm.
not investment banking top-notch lah, but still.
Yeah, but the best in the field, right?
Ah,
Yeah.
yes. But then by the time I graduated, what I realized is that a job hunt is really all
Mm.
about luck. It's applying for a job at the right place at the right time and then be lucky enough to meet a certain interviewer or be assigned to a certain
Mm.
assessment center where it just suited your style based
Mm.
on your luck that day. You know, it's very
Yeah, yeah.
random.
To some level, capabilities do play a part, but I think I agree with you. It's more about timing and your connection and your network.
You can be very capable, but then if you sway, maybe that day you lao sai, then like then you just flunk everything. It happens, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I agree. Like I want to echo what you said about, the pressure of getting into like the best
Mm.
company in the field. So when I was in school, like when I was in uni specifically, there was a lot of pressure to like take part in case competitions, to be able to put that in the resume, to beef up your resume, even before you secure your first full-time role. Yeah, I feel like those like case competitions in school were like, I don't know, like pretty performative, like if you ask me. And then there's this one incident that I want to share. I think it was in a class. And then I think the professor was asking us to list down like career aspiration or something like that. And then we were seated in teams, right? Like teams of 4 or 5. And then my teammates were saying that, oh, they want to get into FMCG marketing. And then probably in 10 years' time, they want to go into consulting.
Mm.
And then like I think like maybe 3 out of 5 of us mentioned consulting. And then in my head I was like, wait, is that like the right thing to do? Is that the best path to take? And at that point I didn't even know what consulting was. Like but I
Mm.
just felt like I had to conform to whatever they were saying and aspire towards being in consulting as well.
This reminded me of like uni days where class part was a thing.
Oh yes.
And
Yeah.
then there will be like but people who are super performative and they will prepare so much of bullshit to say. They will look so productive, like so knowledgeable, so productive. But if you just listen to what
Yeah.
they say, it's all bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, correct. But on a superficial level, you think like, oh my gosh, that means they have so many questions. That means they read through the lecture content, they prepared notes and things like that. But when you listen to like the actual content of what they're trying to say, it's all fluff.
Yeah, I think people like that contributed to my anxiety to
Mm.
sort of try to fit into this productivity culture, even though it's
Mm.
not part of my nature, I guess.
And they themselves are the victims as well of
Mm.
this whole productivity culture.
A lot of Singaporeans are lah. So like when
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got to
that's
my
true.
first job, right, I really thought that being busy is a sign of success. So as a
Mm.
young, driven little girl, I was like, oh my God, everybody wants me to do so much things. Like, oh my God, I want to do everything. I have this like older colleague who laughed at
Mm.
me. She's always like, never not working.
Mm.
Oh, it's you again, never not working. And then I'm like, oh my God, I know that she was being sarcastic, but then I'm not sure where her angst is coming from. But now as a middle-aged person, I get
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, she probably sees like she probably understands like this phase of yours, like, oh, have to work so hard, have to always be working, have to always reply to messages. And then her as like a seasoned professional, I'm sure she knows that like, this girl will realize someday that
Yeah.
being productive all the time will not serve her.
Yes. And then, right,
Mm,
the worst part is that I realized it's not just being productive won't serve me. I realized that putting in effort, being
mm,
recognized even by all my bosses, everybody told me I was doing such a good job. It still doesn't mean anything because it doesn't translate to a promotion, it doesn't translate to a better
yeah.
title, it doesn't translate to anything. And at the end of the day, the person who gets the rewards could be somebody who's just better at socializing
Mm.
or
Yeah.
somebody who has connections with somebody.
Again, it
Share.
also still depends on network and
Yes,
connection.
yes. I think we are really focusing on all the wrong aspects of life as productive Singaporeans, really. Like this whole system of our government teaching us that we need to do well, be productive, just study, work hard, is really not serving us in a corporate world.
I think a lot of people, as they reach like mid-career life, and myself included, they realize that even after following all the steps and keeping by all the rules, they're still not truly happy. Like
Mm.
they've been so productive their whole lives, they got a good job, they went to a good uni, but then they still feel empty.
I think, right, it's also the fact that it doesn't give us any meaning in
Mm.
life. So when I was young and naive once again, there was this concept sold to me as a young professional. So it was the idea that you can seek meaning through work.
No way.
So
Mm.
basically, I think it was quite a common idea that you are supposed to find a purpose at work, to find your ikigai,
Mm.
that is something
Yes.
you care about, or whatever you do is impactful. So if you find your meaning at work, then you will have a happy life, and your work is your life is happiness and is meaningful and all that shit. So but then, really, as I progress to like mid career, I realized it's all a scam. Because ultimately,
Yeah.
when we are in corporate, everything is driven
Mm.
by profitability, yes,
Yeah.
shareholder value, and all this purpose is going to be secondary to money. Whatever you are doing is just serving somebody's ambition and
Mm.
nothing to do
Yeah.
with the greater good.
It's so sad because,
Yeah.
like, if you think about it, you spend your time working for someone else, and like your promotion, your recognition really depends on how your bosses see you, how your team, how other people see you, basically. And I
Mm.
think that contributes to me feeling like so drained after work because I have to put on like pretenses. I have to pretend to be productive. No, I have to pretend to care about things at work. And that drains me so much that a lot of times, and I'm sure you agree as well, a lot of times after work, I just don't have the energy to do anything else. Like, I only have the energy to doom scroll on
Mm.
TikTok. Like, I just lie on my bed and I just scroll and watch useless content.
Yes.
Yeah. And it makes me question, like, why, if everyone, if like most people are so unhappy with how the system works, why does everyone feel like they don't have any other choice than to be in a corporate job, even if they don't enjoy it?
Because we want money, oh. For some people, they want the recognition. They try to inject meaning to their own path. Yeah, so I wanted to share this interesting story to our listeners.
Mm.
So recently, I watched this movie called 长安的荔枝. It's a Chinese movie and it's about
Okay.
lychee. Yeah, so the story is actually pretty complex, but the most relevant storyline that I would share is that this is a story of an emperor who wanted to get some
Mm.
lychees for a birthday party of one of his concubines. But lychees are grown in a very far away region in China. So this
Mm.
is like a super impossible task. So this
Yeah.
poor dude, he got arrowed to do this job. And then he went on this whole journey to experiment with like all sorts of different combination and techniques to preserve the lychees to bring into the capital. He started off as this young chap who was all bright-eyed. He really wanted to do well in his job. He had this whole vision about working in the capital as a scholar and all that. And he achieved it. But as he went through this journey, he got so jaded and they wasted so much resources and literally so many people died on the journey of transporting these lychees. At the end of the day, he did manage to achieve this lychee transportation. So the lychee were placed on this little plate
Yeah.
and nobody cares. They just went on to do other things and nobody
Mm.
touched the lychees and it was thrown away. So, I mean, there were a lot more layers to this story, but this was the main storyline. And this is how
Mm.
I feel about our corporate job now.
That's interesting because at the end of the day, We have to ask ourselves the question, like, who are we really trying to please by being productive? Are we being productive for ourselves? Are we being productive just to show to other people?
Yeah, and a lot of these things that we are asked to do, it doesn't serve any greater purpose. It could be just a random thought that somebody randomly had and got delegated down to you. And the worst part is, can you really not do it? You want to stop, but can you really stop?
I think for me, at the end of the day, we need to realize that we all have free will. So if you feel like you are tired of, always having to stay productive or always looking busy, and if it doesn't serve you anymore, you don't see any purpose in it, then make little steps to change that. Pick up a hobby outside of work. Your life doesn't have to always revolve around work, so that you don't always, stay in the mentality of, oh, I always have to be productive. If not, my boss will think that I'm a shitty worker. That's my final advice. What about you, Sunny?
My unserious advice will be that we need to take performative productivity to the next level. So currently, we are performing to make ourselves feel better. But
Mm.
what if we perform for other people to see, but actually we are not being productive at all?
Okay, give me an example, please.
Writing journals in a meeting room.
Okay,
So people think
okay.
that you are taking notes.
But you're actually writing now, today, dear diary, today I
Yes,
feel very happy.
yes. Clearly, I've been thinking about this.
Yeah, that's actually very smart because then people think that you're taking down notes for the meeting, but then you're actually taking small steps to like improve your mental health.
Oh, not bad, huh?
That's
So I
great
think,
advice, yeah.
yeah, and then we just relax, we just stop stressing out. We don't have to be productive all the time. We can just take a chill pill, do
Yeah.
nothing, go home. Yeah, just become a professional daughter and like just chill. Life's good.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, guys. That's the end of our episode. Remember,
Y-
life is more than just your job and more than being productive. So stay happy,
yes.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.